Hello everybody, this is R.K. Mullins. Welcome to Small Batch Cooking, a channel dedicated to cooking for 1, 2, 3, or 4 persons. Today we are going to be making homemade, from scratch biscuits. That's right, from scratch for a small number of people. Alright, usually this recipe will make anywhere between 3 to 5 biscuits. It just depends on how you cut them. Alright, and whether or not you do what we call cat head biscuits and you spoon them, or if you fold them and cut them. All right, today we're going to roll them out and fold them and cut them. All right, we're going to start off with the ingredients and everything we have. I've got everything laid out. And what we have is 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of butter, margarine, or bacon fat, whichever one you prefer, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. You may use a little less, you may use a little more, depending on your taste. All right, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1/4 cup of milk. Let me take it back. This is a 1/3 cup, not 1/4 cup. Sorry about that. 1/3 cup of butter or margarine or some whatever fat you like to use. Okay. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our flour. Okay. Then we're going to put in our baking soda. I'm sorry, our baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. Okay. Then we're going to add in our salt. Okay. Now we're going to give that a whisk and get everything nicely mixed up. Okay. All right, and then we're going to add in our fat, which is in this case happens to be margarine. Okay. You can use whatever you like. It doesn't much matter. Right, this is, cooking your way, not mine, not somebody else's. If you want to add bacon fat, add bacon fat. All right, which should be more than sufficient. If you want to add butter. All right. So now we got to cut that. We got to cut that butter in. All right, or that margarine in. All right. You want to cut it into where it's, and I like to use my hands, and yes, they are clean. I actually use a product called Star San and wipe everything down with the sanitizer, including my hands. All right, this way I can get in here and get this butter and flour mixture mixed up to where I need it, and get it to the right consistency before I start adding in liquid. See, look at that. Nice, almost like a cornmeal mix, okay? Small pellets, but evenly distributed, okay? It can make a lot of good stuff. Something I forgot, I'm gonna need flour here in a little bit. But I ain't gonna need it right yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab it, okay? Now grab your spoon, grab your milk or your buttermilk, or heck far, grab water if you need to. It ain't gonna matter. And I'm going to need a little bit more milk, it looks like. Probably about a tablespoon, maybe more. That should be enough. That should be plenty. Okay, you want to mix it up. It's going to be kind of a wet consistency. Or a little wet. You don't want to mix it long, just about like that. That amount right there should be plenty. Any more than that, and you're going to overwork it, and the gluten's going to start coming out, and it's going to be a mess. All right, now take and move this out of the way. And yeah, I'm working on parchment paper because that's just the way I like to do things. You work on what you want. You want to work on your countertop? Work on your countertop. You want to work on a cutting board? Work on a cutting board. Don't matter. This is you, not me. Now you bring your dough out, right? And you'll notice that it's still slightly wet. We'll stick that over in the sink, get it out of the way. Okay, now you start to work it a little bit. You are not going to knead this. You're just going to fold it, okay? That's all you're going to do. Just fold it a little bit at a time, right? You're working some of that extra flour in, right? So that it's not as wet. Now, you want to get this out to about, you can use your rolling pin if you want to. You get it out to about maybe a ½ inch, all right? And then you cut it with something, whatever you want to use as a cutter, right? Me, I'm going to use you know, I'm dipping it down in flour so hopefully it won't stick, right? See how fast this comes together? It comes together pretty quickly. I'm gonna set that off to the side. I'm gonna get me another one. I'll probably get 2 out of this mess, maybe. If not, take and put the dough together. Fold it, right? Press it down, get it about a ½ inch, okay? If you cutting device, cut another one. Put it over here out of the way. Go ahead and fold it again, right? You notice this ain't hard, it's fairly simple. Okay, if your flour starts to get a little sticky, put you down some, put you down a little bit, if your surface and your dough gets a little sticky, put you down a little bit of flour, okay? That's all you gotta do. There we go. Now cut it again. This is an extremely simple recipe, extremely easy to do. So far, we've got exactly 3 biscuits, okay? I'm thinking we're probably gonna get one more whole one, maybe. All right, let's see. That's gonna be kind of funky looking, so we're gonna fold it again. All right, get this out of the damn way. So that way y'all can see that, I fold it. I'm gonna flip it and press it, right? Just enough to where maybe I can get a 4th biscuit out of it. There we go. Now, gonna have a little bit of leftover. That's not uncommon. All right, so now we have 4 exact biscuits. Let me wash my hands real quick. I got me a pan and a piece of parchment paper. And I'm going to put the pan, all right? take and dust any loose flour off and put the biscuits in the pan. And this little straggler right here, what I'm going to do is go ahead and fold it back up. Now, like I said, you don't need this stuff, right? If you need it, you're going to make it tough. It doesn't take long at all, okay? Got me a little straggler, put it in the pan. All right, now I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees. All right, and I don't think you need to see, I don't need to show you me putting something in the oven or whatever. If you can't tell that that's going to be done that way, then oh well, I'm sorry. All right, so I'm going to put this in the oven, and it's going to cook for about 15 minutes. We'll be back in 15. I decided that I would show you a little bit of a video of the biscuits in the oven. As you can see, they're rising nicely. They're not done yet, but they will be soon. But they are rising perfectly. All right, stay tuned, and I'll have the final video shortly. Thank you. Alrighty, our biscuits are out of the oven, and what I'm doing right now is I'm taking and just going over the top of them with a little bit of butter or margarine. You don't, in this particular case, you don't want to use pork fat, to go over the top of them, but, whatever if you want to use margarine, if you want to use butter, whichever you like. If you want to use egg wash, you do that prior to cooking. I don't recommend it, but that's all right. But the butter on top of it helps make them look a lot better, and they stand out really nicely. Here's our little straggler. Okay, I'll get a little bit of a close-up on it so you can see how, as that butter melts on there, it makes a nice glistening look to it. Okay, not only that, it adds flavor, and flavor's king, y'all. I don't care what anybody else says, flavor is king. Now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this little fella right here, get me out a knife, and I'm gonna cut into this because I want me a bite of it. And I also want to show you what the inside is gonna look like. Well, maybe I need to cut into a bigger one. Yeah, let's cut into a bigger one, okay? I'll have that one for my snack. How about that? Put that over here, okay? We're gonna go over here to this one. We're gonna cut into one, right? Look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. Nice, beautiful biscuit, right? Nice, soft interior, cooked just the way it should be. Now I'm going to take and get me a little bit of margarine, put on here, because that's just the way I want it. You want jelly on there? You put jelly on there any way you like it. It don't matter to me. But I love me some butter. Usually I like to use whole butter, but hey, this is what I got today, all right? Cheers, everybody. This is R.K. Mullins and Small Batch Cooking. Thank y'all. Y'all gonna enjoy these, trust me.